Another look into the gaming business with another focus. So this time we'll talk about licenses, how important they are they necessary, are they a chance or like a danger? Opening with talking positively about it. So first of all, if you have a license in the game, it's like another quality. If you have a game called Terminator instead of Terminator, it's completely different. If you hear this is a Terminator game, you know, you can like, actually, you have a thought about it already if you know the Terminator franchise. This is a positive point on it. The fan base is very important. So the people who know the Terminator movies and will hear about the game, that there will be a game called the Terminator game, they will like get curious. They really like want to play the game, they want to see it, they want to read about it. So you have like a bigger popularity because they talk about it more than if there's only a movie, and there is a possibility for the movie makers to use this fan base differently. Of course, it's not only about movies, but I think the movie licenses is like the first or the best way to introduce licenses at all. Cross promotion is very important because in a movie you can tell, like, if you have marketing or advertisement after the movie, you can tell them there's a game, play this game. It's interesting for you because you like the movie, or because on the other hand, you can like make advertising for the movie in the game. So you can just say that there's the movie, watch it, buy the DVD, buy the Blu-ray, whatever. You can use this cross promotion. Additionally, you can use merchandising, and if you have this topic, like Terminator in this case, there will be lots more people talking about it. The emotion that people have in the movie, that one there, is very important. So if you see this movie, if you watch it and you're like, wow, it's bombastic, it's amazing, you like it a lot, and you want to have this feeling somewhere else, you want to have it in the game, you want to, for example, in this Terminator franchise, you want to be the robot very strongly with all the weapons and stuff, you want to have some action, and this is what you're going to play the game. And another good thing is the product universe. As an example, with Star Wars, they have a huge universe, they have like backgrounds, they have characters, they have all the spaceships and whatever you can use in the game basically, which is why licenses are a pretty good chance for game developers to reach another level of quality. On the other hand, this product universe can be a contra because there can be limitation. For example, if you have the Star Wars thing, you can only move within this universe. I don't mean like within the universe, I mean the orbits and stuff, I mean the topic. You have the Jedis and the bounty hunters, all the characters in the game. You cannot use pirates, for example, with ships on Earth, because they wouldn't fit at all. So Star Wars is a good thing because it's a huge universe, but if you have another franchise, another series, which is not that wide, you have another focus, and this can be negative for the game. Of course, it's very expensive to have the license for your game because you will have to pay the movie owners. Maybe Universal, for example, they will they want to have a high fee or you to have the game developed on this license. And the next thing is the high expectations. If you see a movie and it's great, if it's a Terminator, you want to have the game at least as good as the movie, because if it's not as good as the movie, it will be not good, and this is what you don't want to provide. You want to provide a game which is like according to the expectations. But therefore, you have the same dangers as in a sequel. For example, Terminator, the first movie, probably saw it, watched it, it was pretty good, and they made a second one, and it was even better. But mostly if you have a movie which is like a blockbuster and no one expected it, the second one will be worse. It's like the usual thing, you know. It's all the time like this, but Pirates of the Caribbean, for example, or lots of people are complaining that they're worse. On Star Wars it's different again, they have good sequels, but the prequels, which are sequels, are like not good again. But what I want to say is, lots of sequels are are not as good as the first movie, and you have the same dangers with developing a game because they have this very high expectations of the license, and if you fit them they will not like it at all. So, some features. Those are games I read of that they were not good because of several reasons. Because, for example, this is a dirty dancing game. Some of you might know the movie. It's about dancing and romantic stuff, and the game was like the game was only about tiny games, like puzzle games. That's all. No storyline, nothing of the characters, not the original names in the movie. Nothing. So there's no relation but the name, which is bad for a game, of course. The Superman game, probably you played it, I don't know. Well, if you make a game out of a Superman movie, you'll think it will be amazing because you're Superman, you can fly, you can beat other people, you're strong. But the game was not good because the only thing you could do is fly. And the only thing you fly through was like rings. So you just fly through the rings and that's all. So you're Superman, the only thing you could do is fly. And it was like full of bugs and they hated it a lot. The Atari game of E.T., you know E.T. I hope. It's like a very old movie but very successful. They started developing it after the movie was released already, and this way they had only 6 weeks to release a game, and they tried to do the least. So it was full of bugs. Bugs means there were lots of problems in the game. We were playing and nothing worked well, and if you want to play a game, you want to have fun and not look at problems or whatever. So it was not good at all. Same thing with this Atari game. Of course, there are good examples. This is a list, but I'll show some screenshots of the pictures of the games, like Spider-Man, for example, the second game. Again, you have this hero franchise. You have an amazing hero who can do amazing things like shooting webs or climb on walls or whatever. So it's like perfect for a game. And this is what they did. You had a huge city. You could do whatever you want. You could swing from building to building and do whatever you want. You had a storyline. It was fun. It was like lots of characteristics. The original voices from the movie, the original soundtrack, which is very important if you have it. There will be other examples without them. So this was a pretty good success. And this way, Division, a developer publisher who makes lots of movie adaptations, was pretty successful with this one. Another example, a good one, is Aladdin. This game is like 50 years old or so. I played it when it was like this, and it was just lovely. You had everything in the game that you liked about the movie. You had the sword fights, this romantic stuff, and cold thing you had to walk through. This was really fun. It was like fun to play, and they developed the game, and of course they developed it for generating additional money, but they made it with love, and this was very important for this kind of game. Wolverine, another hero franchise, they did what they had to do. They developed a game with amazing graphics, and with his knives in his hand, he could like basically cut everything. And the enemies were like houses, tall monsters, whatever. He didn't care. You could use him and defeat anything which was in your way. So it was lots of fun to play this game. People liked it. Everything was good. Activision was happy because they made lots of money. The X-Men Origins movie had lots of people who liked the game and the movie, so everyone was happy. And as soon as they will release another X-Men Origins movie and game, I think the next one will be, I don't know, some other X-Men character. The people who like the movie and the game, hopefully too. So the next thing is like GoldenEye. This is James Bond. You should see it from this face. It was a real success. It was kind of a multiplayer shooter game. So it was for the players they were able to play with 4 people in front of one PC. They can have the maps. They could run around and shoot and play together against each other. They had lots of fun. It was high quality for the time. It's, again, like it must be like 10 years old already, but it was lots of fun. And the good thing about it is that even though all the graphics are not astonishing, it was just fun because it was done properly. This is very important. You can't just use the license, make a game of it, and think it will be good just because the license is in there. You need to have a good game for this game. Licenses, game license in movies is like the topic vice versa. I think it's pretty interesting because there are like several games you have here. Those are the movie fails because the movies they had, for example, they had no relation to the game. Like Hitman, for example. There was this character, he was an emulator, I think, and there was no story combination between the games and the movies, so the game fanboys didn't like it at all. The funny thing is about Uwe Boll, probably you know him, he's like a German director. He's called the worst director in the world. You know IMDb.com, the Internet Movie Database, where you can like look up all the pictures and rankings and whatever. There was this 100 worst movies ever, and as far as I know, 4 of his movies were top 10 of it. And I think 2 of them were game adaptations. So the people who love their games, who are like, oh my god, I want to see a movie about my game, like for example the World of Warcraft guys, the Blizzard is the developer, they told about Uwe that they will never give him the license to make a movie out of the game because they knew if he does, it will be that's good. Again, so they didn't. Luckily, so it's like most of the movies basing on the game are not successful. There are other examples. Okay, some screenshots of Hitman dude, Street Fighter. I don't know if you don't know the Street Fighter game. It's like a huge franchise. They have like 100,000 titles already, like 1, 2, 3, Super Street Fighter, Ultimate, Professional, 3D, and they made a movie out of it, and there was no relation to the games, which is like really difficult because the game has all the characters. You could make a pretty decent movie, even love stories, because they're like everything in it. You had everything, but they didn't manage to do a good movie, to create a good movie, so it failed. Far Cry. Does someone know the game?
Yeah.
Boys? Okay, the game was good. The graphics were good. Like there was not the story wasn't that compelling, but the graphics were good. Okay. We had Uwe Boll and Til Schweiger. We know guys do know Til Schweiger. In Germany he's like one of the most famous actors, famous for his romantic comedies. And Uwe Boll wanted him to do an action movie. Okay? It's like the worst movie you could ever see with action in it. So even if you're a guy, you don't have any expectations, you just want to have helicopters, see them explode, it's still not good. So Uwe Boll makes everything wrong, and people don't want to, basically don't want to work with him. He still does. I don't know how he does it. He has his own company and own findings. I don't know how it works out. This game was a huge fail. And I think I read somewhere that there will be a sequel to it. Far Cry 2. I hope not. This is it about him. There's more things to tell about Far Cry, but this is not important for you. Like, it's a pretty successful game. There are 2 sequels in the Crisis games. There's lots of these Cry games. Anyway, movies with good movies made out of games. It's Street Fighter again. We have it here. So this is only a comic movie, but it was really good because you had the characters. So like they look in the game, they look like the same, and you had the storyline, the good guys, the bad guys. It was fun to watch it. Whereas the other Street Fighter movie with the real actors was not good. And the Resident Evil, another important gaming franchise, but this is a horror game. It's like really scary because you have one weapon, like 10 zombies coming at you, and you have to survive somehow. The movie, actually, there was no relation to the game, just a little. Like, they have the same name and some zombies in it. The rest is like completely different. Nevertheless, it was pretty successful and people liked it. But there's like already a 4th or the 5th Resident Evil out there, and the fans don't like them. So only the first one was successful. I've watched all the other ones. They were okay, like lots of zombies and action, but not comparable to the first one. By the way, this is all my opinion and the opinion I got from the internet. Maybe that there are people here in this room who love all the titles of Resident Evil, like Alex, what are you talking about right now? This is always the same. It's like it's a taste thing. So probably like all of them. Probably you like the other Street Fighter movie. I can't like decide for you, but this is like the average opinion about it. Okay. Mega Man, another very important game franchise. This is a non-profit movie. I didn't watch it yet. I will because I found it when I was researching for this presentation. Like they had basically no budget. It's a 90 minutes movie, I guess. I think. And the people like it. They didn't have a budget, but they like it because it was fun and they love. And the people creating this movie out of the game really were into games and movies and apparently did very well. Okay. How important are licenses? I guess you know this guy. This is Mario. Here's one version of him. Licenses are very important for the gaming, for the overall gaming because you know there are like three major consoles: the Xbox, the Nintendo, and the PlayStation. And there's only one way why all these consoles can survive because they have exclusive licenses. The Mario franchise is only on all the Nintendo consoles. Basically, the people buy the Wii, for example, because they know Mario is on it. If there wasn't Mario, they probably wouldn't buy the Wii. Now you have one question. Okay? You know the Nintendo consoles. Do you know a game which is only available for Nintendo and not for Xbox, PC, or PlayStation? Any game?
Wii Sports.
For example, yeah. This is like not a franchise of them. They use it and it's pretty successful.
Super Smash Bros.
Yeah, the Super Smash Bros. It's like this is a fighting game. You have like four max people. You can brawl a lot, lots of fun.
Zelda, Kirby, Super Smash Bros. Is compiled out of all their licenses, isn't it?
Yeah. Zelda is very, very important. This Zelda RPG game is like very famous. It started on the classic Nintendo and the Game Boy, and still persists, and they still improve. So the people love Zelda. Basically, I'd say if there is a new console, a new Nintendo console, and it would have only one game, only Zelda for a year, the people would still buy the console in order to play Zelda. This is like because they love this franchise. Metroid Prime, for example, very important for the Nintendo fanboys, for the people who love Nintendo. This is why licenses are very important. You need them. It doesn't matter where you get them from movies or you develop them on your own, but you need them for your console. For the PlayStation, you have, for example, God of War. It's like newer. The first God of War was released 6 years ago for the second PlayStation. Now we have PlayStation 3. It's a very important franchise. You have this muscle guy. Yes, thanks. He's like fighting against all the gods because he hates because they make bad things to him. And it's like really bloody and brutal, but very successful for the PlayStation guys. Another very important license for the PlayStation is the Gran Turismo series. It's like one of the classic PlayStation games. They always had them and they will always have them. I think the 5 is the newest version. It took them 4 or 5 years to develop in this game. Like the average development time is like 1 to 2 years. Average. You need so you have like every 1 to 2 years a new season to your game. And this took lots of time. But people were waiting for it as hell. They knew that it would be released someday. They saw some pictures, some movies, and were desperately waiting for it because they love this series. Okay. Another important franchise for the PlayStation now is Uncharted. Probably the guys know it. It's like a game developed by Naughty Dog. Again, a shooter game with astonishing graphics, very good storyline. People like it because you play it and it's like a movie and the people love it. Example for Xbox is Halo. The people who play on Xbox and who like shooting games know Halo, and they're like, this is the Series 2, and there are, like, I think already 4 versions released already. Now it's another developer. Anyway, very important. If they will release a new Xbox console someday, they will need this Halo franchise in order to have a successful console. Okay, I think you have some. Very important. Talking about fanboys and fan bases, you have 2 major soccer games in the world: Pro Evolution Soccer and FIFA. I'm not that into football games, but the people really consistently buy their own, like their favorite game. So you see, it's like the 11th already. So like it's the 11th of the year, but it's like existed for 6, 7, 8 years now. So they're releasing a game every year, and the people keep on buying it, but they always buy the same one. Mostly, basically, the fan of one of those games, and they keep on buying it, no matter what all the tests and previews say and the reviews say. They keep on buying the same franchise. Talking about quality, the quality changed. It used to be FIFA's older, as I know. And I think Pro Evolution Soccer was released in Japan someday, and it was pretty successful, better than FIFA. And then because of this competition, they developed more. And then now, like, they're on one comparable level. Both are very, very good, but both have their fan bases. Okay, they're guessing. I'd like you to guess which sequel this is. It's possible. So this is like a hint for a game which will be released someday. There's nothing more in the internet about this picture. Okay? Exactly, it's Grand Theft Auto. So you only have this one, this 5. Yesterday was like, yeah, it's Vendetta. No, it's not Vendetta, it's Grand Theft Auto. So the people know the franchise and they're waiting for it. And all you have is this, and they're already pre-ordering it. So licenses are very important. Grand Theft Auto used to be exclusive for PlayStation. No, it wasn't. Okay. No. Wrong thing. It's a very important game for all the consoles and PCs. Another one which I think is more difficult.
Matrix.
Modern Warfare. Again, it's like, what you see there? Nothing. You see a 3, and Carl knows already. So, and I'd like to show you the trailer of this game, so you know how the games look like nowadays. So, then only, like, you can't compare it to Mario anymore, because if you see this trailer is, I think, 2 days old. Just hope it works. We just released it. Here's some. Please load.
Probably not good to watch, you don't have violence.
Yeah, there's some violence in it. Should I stop the showing it? Because of violence? It doesn't work right now. There will be a warning, like in every trailer. No. Where's my full screen? This is actually a game to play.
Duty Modern Warfare 3, product not yet rated.
So this Call of Duty friend is very important. And again, the people are pre-ordering it. It will be released in 6 months or so. They're pre-ordering it. They start making or spending some marketing on it because they know it will be a success. The 2 versions before it, Modern Warfare 1 and 2, were like one of the best sold games ever. And this is not a new franchise, but the Modern Warfare franchise is very important. You have it, people will buy it, everything will be fine. The company having the license will earn lots of money with it. Another example is this one. I think it looks like the same, isn't it? Guy and does anyone knows what this could be?
Black Ops.
No, Battlefield.
Dead Boys?
No, it's Battlefield.
Right.
It's Battlefield 3. 3, it will be released, I think, on the same date as this one. Okay, see, you saw the movie. Isn't it like incredible what we can create, you can play nowadays? Even though you're not into shooting games, you'll think like, well, this looks real. This is scary to some point, but it's amazing on the other hand. And I would like to play it because I like to be in this huge environment. I'd like to show you this trailer too. It's shorter, just to have a comparison, because I think most of you will not see the difference between the games or the difference in quality. And then again, you'll see how important the fan base is. The guys who ever played, or the girls who ever played Battlefield, know this song because it's like the Battlefield sound, and it's like known for many years now. This was only a teaser, but enough to show that basically it looks the same. You have a weapon, you have DG cities, everything is exploding. Cool. Easy. What do you need more? And this is what they do. They redo the games. They have probably new engines, meaning that the game looks better. New stories, like they created for the other game, they created a new World War. Here, I don't know which conflict they have there. Therefore, you need this fan base. The people will either buy the Modern Warfare game or the Battlefield game, because one game is like 60 euros, it will be expensive to buy both of them, so you have to choose. Or you will choose on your own. This is Battlefield Play for Free. This is still in the closed beta, meaning it's not available for everyone. You can register for this game if you have an invitation. It's pretty cool. I tried it. This is the Play for Free version of the Battlefield franchise because they heard there's money in it, and they therefore they tried it too. Basically, you can register, you can start playing, you can start shooting. The things you buy is like I said, the weapons. You can buy new costumes, new hats, 4 or 5 euros. If you want to do so, it will be released this year, I guess. They will use this beta time, so this not official release time, not to improve it. What Greg said, you have lots of things you have to improve and to look after, so it will be with a high quality as soon as they release it. And Modern Warfare franchise, they don't have a free-to-play game, but they're going to develop one for the Asia market. Usually, this free-to-play business comes from Asia because the guys started there. Well, like I think 90 or 95% are free-to-play games. There, people are not used to buying games at the store. They play it online for free, and therefore the Call of Duty guys will release free-to-play version for the Asian market too, because they know there's money. This one. This is easy, isn't it? Right. Sims. So again, you see this diamond, you know it's Sims. Sims is still alive. It's not that popular anymore, but people still play it. Okay, I hope you saw that licenses are very important because they are comparable or they look almost the same. And if you don't have a fan base, this game could be lost beneath all the games available out there. So now we'll talk about some examples from movies into gaming. You have the Transformers movie. Again, lots of action and decent actors. They made a game out of it, which was, this rating was 62 out of 100, so it was okay. It was okay probably. It made fun, but I didn't have a long time fun in it. The funny thing about it is, this is the movie license, the Transformer movie license, but there was a game about 3 years ago, before this game, Transformers game on the Hasbro, on the Toys license, which was a really good one because it had 86 out of 100, which was like one of the best games released this year. Just because they had a completely different game. They even didn't have the storyline you had in the movie. They just had the toys and they could create whatever they wanted. They took the time and developed a really good game. This is what I like about it. If you try to do things and you know what to do, it can be successful. But it mustn't be a necessary one just because you have the license. Last one was Kung Fu Panda, a kids movie. It was pretty fun. I liked it. The game was okay, so I would say enough for children to play. They will have their fun. They will see the beloved Panda and all the other characters. That will be enough for them. So you don't need the best storyline, the best graphics for a kids game. So it was pretty successful, pretty good for Xbox. And I got some money for out of it. Pirates of the Caribbean. Again, you would think a pirate game with a ship and all the bad guys and the sword fighting and the shooting. This must be a really good game. Like, it could be perfect, but what they did was not successful. 58 out of 100 if you could have like everything. Just think why. Why didn't you say let's just allow the developers to have more time and to think about it, not only use Johnny Depp's face in order to expect success. Tokyo Drift, the movie. Did you see it? Okay, well, it was just an action movie with amazing cars and a VW Touran and stuff. The game was okay, but compared to, for example, Gran Turismo and all the other racing games you have out there, it was not good. And in my opinion, there it doesn't make sense to create a game because the license is not enough to be successful in this case. So if Gran Turismo had, for example, the Fast and Furious license, it could be even better, but in this case, the game was not okay, but then the license was not enough to be a game success. Oh, this is a good story. The Rio movie is good. It's brand new. And do you know Angry Birds? Angry Birds, the mobile game, now it's an app for Amazon and Apple and Mac and stuff too. It was a perfect fit. So the Angry Birds game was branded by this Rio franchise, by the movie, and they created this game. So in the Angry Birds game, you had like, if you don't know the game, you basically throw your birds at these levels, and there are pigs in it, and you have to kill them with your birds. And they're like, it's pretty funny. And they used this game to develop a game for the movie. So they changed a little bit. So instead of killing the pigs, you're rescuing the birds, and you just shoot your birds at it. You have different kinds of birds. You have a story behind it. The people liked it. It was pretty successful. And right now they're developing the second Angry Birds Rio game, even though the Rio movie is not released yet. The second one is not released yet. So just proof that it's pretty successful. I liked it and it's lots of fun. And another thing you can say about it is you don't need the monster budget in order to release a very good game. You just need creative ideas. It must be detailed, of course, some funny things in it, and people must like it, but the graphics, as you saw it in the Modern Warfare movie, for example, are not that important. The important is the idea behind it. So I think if you combine or compare the budgets of this game and of the Modern Warfare game, this would be like 1,000th or 1/10,000th of the others, and they will make comparable amount of money because of this success. Into OnLegends again, which in my opinion is very important for you because of the localization thing, because MMOs are internationalized a lot. We got a lot of rings already. As far as I know, there is no really successful PlayStation or PC game of Lord of the Rings. The online game is better. It's okay. It's lots of fun to play the game. The bad things about it is you don't have the official soundtrack. It's like a very important part of Lord of the Rings. It was Howard Shore, I guess, who created the soundtrack. It's an amazing soundtrack, and if you hear the sound somewhere, you will immediately think about Lord of the Rings. They didn't have it. You don't play as Aragorn or anyone else. You just create a character. There will be some characters in the game you know out of the books. It's based on the books and not on the movies. This is why I don't have the soundtrack. I think the logo is not the same either. Anyway, so this is based on the books, which were released 20 years ago, even older. I'm just talking, what was it, goodbye, flying books. Even though the movies are somewhat new, the first one was released 10 years ago. Huge success, and if you watch the movie and you like online games, you immediately think how amazing would it be to fight next to Aragorn and Legolas and fight against the orcs, even though you could play the bad guys too. It was really good, and the game is a success to make lots of money, especially because they turned to free-to-play. Star Wars. This is the game which is going to be released. The development costs are huge. I think the money they invest already is as much as James Cameron invested for the Avatar movie. This 3D blue people on another planet movie, Avatar. The cost for it are the same as this game already costed the developers, which is EA. Imagine a game we have like many years before the movies, before Darth Vader and stuff, and you play as a Jedi or as a bounty hunter or whatever you want to. It could be incredible. They have a huge chance to make an incredible game, but I'm quite skeptical about it because what I read about is like they invest a lot of money for the voiceover. So you know NPCs in the games, the people standing around giving you the quests or selling things to you, which are like PCs and not real players in this MMOs. And they have voices for every person in this game, which is very expensive. Which is good for you because it has to be translated if they want to release the game in other languages. But they're spending a huge amount of their budget in this voiceovers, which is, in my opinion, not good because there are more important things like the game itself, like the development trees and the RPG features, and the voiceovers are not that important. Additionally, if you play another game and you have this quest and there's lots of text, I always wonder who reads it. For example, I scroll down, look what I have to look for, the golden sword in somewhere there behind the tree, and that's all I want to know. And I don't want to know like who created the sword and why the trees are there and not there, and they tell this stuff to you because they have to create a storyline. I was like never that much interested in this storyline, but this is important for you to make it as interesting as possible. There are people who really want more and more content. I met a guy from Amsterdam that's developing a bear game. You have tiny bears, you have like a bear MMO for children, and all the children were like, the feedback they received from the children was like more content, more story, more background, more characters in the game. So they're like two levels, people who are interested in this text and the stories, and people who just want to play the game. And this is clearly focusing on the players who want the storyline behind it. So we'll see if this will be successful. What we can say for sure is like it's really expensive to develop this one. I think it will be released in the end of this year. Probably there will be later too, but it's another regular thing on this. Did you ever hear about this game? Because I didn't. And I have a certain knowledge about online games, like I have never heard of it. Just googled Pirates of the Caribbean, and then found this one. Like, oh, there's an online game, which somehow proof for it's not that important. Can't be that good. I don't know how good it is, how much fun it is to play this game. I don't know, but it exists. Two brother games developed by Stillfront, Swedish developer. The developer knows that this game is real, the conversions are bad, the people are not paying, but they have the license. Again, if you have the license, it's not enough. The game must be fun, it must have another game, it must have a community, if it doesn't, they will not make money. Localisation. This is a German, pretty popular game. I think it didn't reach the border date successfully, so it was a German phenomenon. People loved it. This, I think, the seventh version of the game already. Very old game. And there's a developer who released, or who is going to release an online version of this game. So the difference is basically the persistency. I don't know if I told you already, the online games are always persistent. So if you're offline, it still goes on and you can still be attacked. It wasn't like this in the old game, so now it's like a persistent game. And the people who like the classical PC game don't like that one. Even though it looks sweet and beautiful and it's well developed, there are like little bugs in it only. The players who are used to the classic game don't like it. Otherwise, the people who like MMOs or are used to this topic love it. So this franchise, the license, Die Siedler, is worthless in this case. So this game would be the same success if it were called The Badlands or whatever, because it's just not important for this game, which is funny because you think having a license like Die Siedler would be a huge success. Battlestar Galactica? Someone knows it?
Yes.
I didn't watch it. Big Point developed the game. Space shooter thing. It is successful, but the relation to the series is mostly not existing because the only thing they have for all of the game series is the spaceships and the weapons, as far as I know. There's no storyline adapted from the series, no characters, nothing else, but the logo and the spaceships, which again shows if you have a license like this, why don't you make a game the players, the fans would love. But still, it's pretty successful, but I can't tell you because I don't have information if most of the people playing or paying for this game like the series before. It would be interesting questions. Probably I can ask them someday if they have some information about this. Wakfu is from a French developer. It's a French TV series and a French comic. So what they did is they have the game from Wakfu, the TV series, and the printed comic book, which in my opinion is like the best thing you can ever have, because they can develop all settings and storylines on one level, and the TV series can talk about happenings in the game, for example, because the game is developing. You can build cities, you can destroy cities, of course, and the storyline of the series has its basis on the game, which is pretty interesting, and it's very new. We'll see if it will be successful. I like the idea very, very much, and I hope there will be more comparable products like this one. This is The Sims, but do you think do you see something special in this one? I will say one word, but I hope you will see it.
The US president.
No. Yeah. What? IKEA. IKEA. Do you see IKEA? Did you see anything from IKEA there?
Everything.
Everything, yeah. Like everything in this Sims game is like from IKEA. There's like Sims IKEA game. This is cool. I mean, the people love IKEA, and probably they even use it in order to check how the furniture will fit in their flat. No one knows. This is called product placement, another licensed thing. In this case, as far as I know, IKEA paid the Sims game in order to have its furniture in the game, because this is what they do with the Sims is doing marketing for IKEA, because you see it here, and you can practically use it, and this is marketing for IKEA, and there are like lots of games trying to do product placement in order to have an additional revenue, and IKEA is like the perfect thing. But you can use cars or clothes for fashion games. This is like another revenue stream for the game developers. And you have this product placement in movies already. In all the James Bond movies, you have like these fancy cars, and like Aston Martin or whichever car producer pays a lot to be in the movie. So this, additionally to the quality they gain, because they're more real, because they have IKEA furniture, they have money in it from it. So it's like a double win for the developers. This is another reason why product placement is very important. In this case, the products are licensed, they use in the game. Okay, I think that's it. The introduction to licenses and games. Thank you very much. Okay, questions please. Yes?
What do you think of alternative reality games as a means of promotion?
Augmented reality?
Alternative reality, you know, like was it this film with a huge monster in New York, and they filmed it with a Cloverfield? Like they had an alternative reality game where they advertised products from the world, not game, from the world of the film, and they did things like that. Or
Which movie was it?
Cloverfield.
Augmented.
Cloverfield.
No. Augmented reality would be the ones where you have 3D. No, it's like they bring elements of the game, of fictional universe of the film or the game into the real world. Some other film, they had a number that was visible. It was not a traditional number, and you could call. I think that was in Lost. You could actually call and try to get a job for the Dharma Foundation, something like that. And they.
Did you hear about, I think it was Halo Reach or Halo 3 was advertised by something called I Like Bees? No, I Love Bees. It was a woman's website was hacked, allegedly by, what's the enemy in Halo called? Covenant?
I'm the PlayStation guy, I don't know.
Yeah, it was hacked by the evil aliens of Halo, and the company that did this ARG, or alternative reality game, sent out pots of jam to people's houses. No, pots of hundreds of people's houses that had codes in it saying, buy Halo. It was crazy.
I love those things, like perfect. As soon as the people talk about it, it's perfect.
Yeah.
As soon as you talk viral marketing again, it's like a perfect thing you can have. I think in the movie, I think it's like in How I Met Your Mother, like Barney with all these colleges, and he has a homepage, I guess, and I think the homepage he talked about really exists and stuff. This is perfect. As soon as like the more things you can talk about, the viewers want to talk about, it's perfect. So implement as much stuff, as much content from the reality as you wish and want, because then if you play a game and you play it like this, because you don't play like this, and you start smiling, it's perfect. Smiling is enough. If you like have any emotions in the movie or the game, it's perfect. And if you can achieve it with things like that, it's very good.
Can I ask you the FIFA, the football game, and localization? What do you attribute the success of those football playing games? Is it the localization process, or is it simply the licensing? I'm thinking, there's 2 years, you're studying localization of games. It's a Greek version of the FIFA or PES. And they use actual commentators. Right? So
Yeah,
football
sure.
commentators. Do you think it's the localization of the game, or is it the licensing that guarantees or gives such a success?
Well, the licenses are very important for those football games.
Yeah.
The measurement is the sold units, of course, if it's successful or not. So if FIFA sells 100,000 and Pro Evolution Soccer 1 million, you will be better one. But like everything is an important part of it. What do you say, the moderators? Is it the correct term?
Commentators.
The commentators. They're very important. We have like we love the speakers in Germany, for example. If you don't have them, it's like it doesn't feel real. If you don't have Messi in the game or the real teams existing in the world, it doesn't feel real. And as soon as a football game doesn't feel real, if there is a game that is so much closer to reality, the other one is way better. Like everything is like the tiny parts, and the commentators who had them in FIFA 98 already, and they're, even though we're only saying like who goal or Messi has the ball or whatever, it was still fun because they were like 10, 24 years ago. It was like, wow, how did they manage to know that? And there was a foul, and they said, no, this was not correct, and you think like, wow, how couldn't they do that? And it's like, as soon as you can have those things where people wonder how real it is, it's very real. And the more real a game is, especially in football, and the more license you have, which are very expensive by the way, the more fun is it. And there are lots of free-to-play football games. In Germany there's one game called Comunio. And basically when you build your team, you can buy and sell players from other teams and stuff. And this is very successful only because they have the official licenses. If you hadn't them, it's like if you would have fictive players, soccer players, there would be that success never, because they can compare it to real games, and you can even sell bets if you want on games. So that is fun in this case. There are fantasy shoot football games too, like they can shoot rockets and whatever, but they're completely different, and they're not that fun.
Well, the Transformers example is really good because Transformers itself, you talk about the movie, but it goes backwards. Like you have the game, the movie, then the other game, then you've got the TV series, and the range, which came actually to sell a range of toys, which are put together from a bunch of other toys. So it's licensing from start to finish.
Yeah. I like the example too.
Is it possible to give up your license? Like, if you've developed a game, like, say, Star Wars or something,
Yeah.
and it's a good game, but you've gone outside the universe and you're losing a lot of fan base, could you possibly take the name off a game? Like, could you change the game's name?
But you will change the whole game because every name in the game will be taken from the Star Wars universe. So you have like, to completely retranslate the game. Luke Skywalker must be Super Lightwalker or whatever. So basically the cost for it, you can start preparing, developing a completely new game, even though it's the same one. But I think it's not possible. There are games, like the Battlestar Galactica game for example, where you have no storyline. You just have the ships and the logo, and you could perfectly do it. I even think that people wouldn't care. If, for example, if it would be less expensive, they would even love it, for example. That people would easily could do it, but it depends on the amount of work which is behind it. So the storyline is not possible.
Just the German RTS game that you gave the example of, like, the one that had it went online after being an off like it. But totally they could call it something different now and release it. Like,
the Battlefield game, you mean?
no, but
RTS, sorry. Yeah. I think you could do it because they don't have a storyline again. They just have the logo of DC Blood. Really, it's like on the top. The good thing is about it is the people hear there's a DC Blood online game for free. They start it, but the conversion is bad because it's not the kind of game they like. But you have lots of registrations, but the conversion is bad. Of course, basically it's like circles again. You have the circles of the online gamers and the circles of the Zebra fans. And there's a mixture of them, and this core players will love it a lot, and the others won't.
What do you think? Is there like big difference, like the people who used to play in like 90s, the offline thing,
Yeah.
they don't adapt, in your experience, they don't adapt to the persistent online world?
Again, I can tell you about my personal experience, and I talked to lots of people about the game. For me, I love the Zebra 2 version. It was so sweet, the tiny settlers were walking around, doing everything. I like that you start a game, you finish a quest, and it's over. You turn off the PC, and it's done. You can do something else. But this game, you have to be online all the time. You have to be careful all the time. You get an email that you are under attack. You will get an email that you have a new mine in your city, and you basically keep playing all day long. And a lot of the people who are used to the older games, of course, some of them get used to it, but others are not into it. So, what the online gaming business does is teaching them to play online games, to make them get used to it. Basically, to get them addicted, to get used to playing all the time. Playing on the mobile phone while you're on the run, or at home, the first thing you do is you start Facebook, check your messages, and then you check if your crops are ready to get harvested. Another question?
What do you think of Square Enix's use of Final Fantasy license?
I love the franchise. They had this problem that the Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, they're
Sorry to say, but it sucked. The thing you read about it, it was not ready. It was full of problems. The people, the Final Fantasy fans are like the most radical fan-based people ever, because they love this Final Fantasy series because it's the 14th part already, and they buy a console because they bought the Wii because there was one Final Fantasy on the Wii, the Crystal Chronicles. That's what they bought this one. I didn't. And they were mad because the Xbox, Microsoft, got the Final Fantasy 30 license too. They were mad that the Microsoft guys, even though they had no reason to be mad because they were allowed to play on both consoles because they were there. So they're really radical fan-based people. Final Fantasy 11 was online, not for free, it was subscription-based as far as I know. And 14 again online, and they're waiting for it for 3 years now, or even more probably. And Square Enix really failed it. They released the PC version about, let's say, 4 months ago, I'm pretty sure, and they're going to release the PlayStation 3 version, but they postponed it because in order to fix all the problems. Because they spent lots of money in it, it's very expensive to develop such a game, and they knew from the PC version that it wouldn't make it. So they were willing to buy it, even though the fan base were really disappointed. It was like, I'm really sorry for Square Enix. They're very important, they bought many companies recently, but this was a huge disappointment.
I've bought, I think, 8 Final Fantasies and 3 consoles because they have the same license, but they've made so many different games. They can make a football game called Final Fantasy.
Well, you have the Blitzball from them, this is too much into the game, but the people loved it. They could have made Blitzball online, it would be okay. But I'll call them, do something about it.
Can I ask you about the cutscenes? There was more and more games use more and more cutscenes.
Yeah.
To enhance the storyline.
Yes and no. Not anymore. Because the in-game graphics get better and better. Like, especially on the Final Fantasy franchise, you have lots of cutscenes, and the people love them because the cutscenes are telling the story. So you play for half an hour, you have a cutscene, you play for half an hour, another cutscene. Final Fantasy 13 was the best example. The people complain that it's like you're playing a tunnel. You just push the X button, then it's the next cutscene again. They're really not satisfied. And Games like Modern Warfare or Battlefield, they're like a tunnel too, but the cutscenes are in-game shots already because the graphics are good enough. You don't need to pay a CGI company to create those. So just basically they film the game. This is enough because the graphics improved. So saying this animated movies get less and less important. This was completely different back then. For Command and Conquer probably, the Red Alert 2 one, you have, before the game starts, you have this 5 minutes cutscene in order to introduce you to the topic, and if you play the career mode, you see lots of cutscenes between every mission, and there's less and less scenes in the games, but at the same time you have more and more movies, like the Outer movie is like a cutscene. It's like you have actors somewhere in the background, but most of the movie is graphics. And if you see a movie like Battle Los Angeles or whatever, this is all graphics and it looks real. So that was switching from games to the movies because everything improved.
Any more questions?
I think we have time. I don't know.
You have time, is there anything else you want to talk about?
Alex, you told a lot about different games today, and you said, well, you said you kind of disliked MMOs, I think, so because you say it's all we'll kill the animals, pick up stuff, go kill animals. And so what games do you like?
Me personally,
Yeah.
I used to love the Final Fantasy games. Really, like these RPG games, you have this story behind it. This you're playing the story. You have this one character. He's in love, but his love dies, and what he does next, and he has to save the world. On the other hand, and you are this character. I love RPG games. I used to love them. I stopped playing them because I got addicted. I played World of Warcraft for 3 months. Was a 3-month subscription for. I bought it for 3 months. As soon as it ran out, I was like, oh my god. You really feel that you're thinking too much about this game. This is like really, this is why like into this addictive thing. On the one hand, I'm making money of it. On the other hand, I know how dangerous it is. I used to love RPG games. I never loved playing sports games. I love doing sports. I love playing soccer on the real green field. This is fun. I love to hurt myself, but I like to play it. It's fun sometimes. Right now I'm playing games which look like amazing, like real. For example, this Modern Warfare or the Battlefield game. You are in the game, you play, everything explodes. You have your headphones on. You're like in the game. It's like amazing. It's just like, completely different. And I love to play tiny games. Like I always love Tetris. Like to improve. Like the next high score. This is my thing. To be better than others. Whatever you have. Another addiction thing, by the way, to crack the high score of others can be very difficult. Yeah, my sister always did. Yes.
Do you have some kind of statistic analysis? What kind of things are liked by whom, or according to locations?
I don't have any information on me, so basically there's everything in my hand. So you want to know which target group likes which kind of game?
Yeah, especially in countries wise. I mean,
Countries wise, yeah. Asia is very, very, very much MMORPG, for example. A lot. Germany, RTSs, Command and Conquer, Age of Empires, all the PC games, the real success. As far as I know, the UK market is more into consoles. Like the Germans prefer PC games, for example. As far as I know, the UK market is more into consoles. And the Latin America, for example, they don't have this PlayStation 3 next generation consoles. And this is why this free-to-play browser games are a real success there. Because they're free-to-play and they can pay if they want to and they don't need brand new PCs. The US was always a mixture but focused on consoles too. So the PC was very important for Germany.
do you have also an idea about what kind of characters are, like, for example, in a game, there is different kinds of characters already played, like maybe angry or fighting or something. So, according to the locations, is there any difference, or is it like?
No. the fighting games like Modern Warfare are successful everywhere. There's no region in the world where they aren't so very good, so very good. Like yeah,
The box art you showed this morning probably shows, you know, preferences of characters, you know,
Which-
in different areas. You showed box art, you know, for various games.
yeah,
And like, you know, characters that are popular. Like I think even on when we were promoting Summer School page, we got a permission to use a comic strip that showed,
Yeah.
you know, various different
this is
things.
funny thing. Yeah, yeah,
It's
this is
funny, but it's kind of true. When
It
you-
is. Oh, the adaptation you need. But there is some localization or cultural adaptation you will need in order to have the game successful everywhere. But basically, you could say games are played everywhere. And we have target group like children. The good games, they're educational games. They're kind of teaching people how to be a better person. I found some I can tell to you. I remember, but none of them is making money. Just to say that. Basically you have target groups, of course, regional differences. I can tell you a lot because I'm responsible for the European and Russian market. But my colleague, for example, is responsible for the North and Latin American market, and he can tell you all their preferences. Like slightly different, like completely different. But another example was the retail and free-to-play business. So Asians are really used to Korea. They don't buy the games anymore. They just play them for free and pay if they want to. And in Germany, this free-to-play business is completely new. You're not used to it. You're used to going into the store, buy your box, and never pay again. And this virtual goods paid content thing is completely new to us for like 3 or 4 years now. And they're getting used to it, which is good because it's good for the piracy business, for example. It's not possible to steal an online game. You cannot steal the disc and burn it on your own disc and play it at home. You can only play together with all the other people. What you can do is you can hack the games and cause lots of damage. Like you probably heard about the anonymous guys hacking the Sony network. It cost them like, I don't want to know, lots of money, and I'm scared because my credit card number and stuff is on there, of course, because I bought things there. And this is new harm they can do to them, but they cannot steal the games anymore, which is good for the game.
Yeah, no, but I know of cases of piracy of online games.
Yeah.
Like my brother used to play on a fake server of a game called Ragnarok
Yeah.
because it was cheaper.
Yeah.
So it does happen.
Yeah, I know. What was for Warcraft?
Ragnarok.
Yeah, I know the game Ragnarok Online.
Yeah, he used to play on a pirate version.
Yeah, you can do this, but this is not an MMO anymore because you have like only the 3 other players playing with you, and not the 1,000 other players, which make the game fun. So you can steal the game, load it on a server somewhere. You will have bugs, no one will fix them, and you won't. The only thing you can find is the NPCs, the monsters out there, the PvE. It's called players versus the environment. So you can fight them, but there is no fun because you cannot trade, you cannot produce and sell, whatever. So there's no more fun anymore. What you can do is this hacking is dangerous. There's this Rules of Magic game I showed you this morning. They hacked the game server and then blackmailed the publisher that they will release all the information and destroy the game completely. This is very dangerous. Therefore, lots of security things that I'm not into because I'm not a developer and security guy. Yes, please.
Yes, I have a question regarding the German community of gamers. As a gamer and also as an expert of the German community, what's the general reaction of German gamers to USK? I heard about blood patches, that Mortal Kombat 9 was not released. So what's the general attitude towards USK?
We hate it. Because we have this PEGI for Europe, and there's one country in Europe which has its own rating, the German country. So basically we have a completely different ranking, and they decide on their own which games are available on the German market or which not. And
So you hack, basically. Many people hack.
No, yeah, they steal the game, or they import it from Austria, for example, because the games are already there. And it's no problem to buy it online and to get it in the next 2 days, which is bad for the German market. But they try to control it somehow, but they don't know how. So they have this USK ranking, which doesn't work properly, of course, because you can, especially in the EU, you can import anything you want. You can buy it from the UK, which is mostly cheaper because of the exchange rate to the pound, which I did, and it works on your console or at your PC. And the Germans hate it because if you, like, one of the good guys, you buy the game in the store, you suffer because you don't see the blood, for example. And there are people who like to see blood in their bloody games because they like it. So honestly, it doesn't make sense. And we, the German players, really hope they will stop using the USK anymore because there is a European rating. So it really doesn't make any sense to have it. Then I cannot tell you why they have it because it's not working at all. Yes, please.
It looks like the free-to-play online games business, well, the market itself is growing like really fast lately. And do you expect the growth to decrease?
Yeah.
And when do you expect that?
Very good question. So the last number I know is about, OnLegends is focusing on emerging countries, on emerging regions. Like for example Brazil, the growth rate is more than 100%. So these regions like Latin America, the Arabian regions, Southeast Asia, they're growing like hell. At the same time, you have regions like Europe, where this kind of game business is established already. So the growth rate is like way less than the past years. It's still growing, and they're still thinking about how to widen the target group, like in order to take new target groups, like girls, for example, are very, very important. So many game developers choose to develop fashion games, for example. They might have fashion games raised by 10 in the past 3 years. Try to tackle mothers and women as a target group, so they're trying new games. And the thing they have is this social games. They're pretty new, so they are successful for 2 or 3 years now, which is new, and they're still raising. And if you see like this City Will game, which is a worldwide successful game, they have more than 100 million players. Actually, you can check the numbers they have because there's this site called App Data, I guess. It shows the amount of monthly active players and daily active players. Okay, you have zero there. With is it down? Wait, let's click it. It was more than 100 million there. Well, see some graphics. Okay, now is the monthly active user. So if a user logs in once a month, he's one of those. And the DAO is the amount of people who play every day. It used to be like this for a long time. And I was like, you can have a look what they did there. Probably they did a huge change there in order to make people play again. Or they spend lots of money in marketing, for example. You never know what they did, but something is going very wrong there. The important numbers are the DAOs, because DAOs here are the people who are really active. Only these people are the people who are willing to pay. So these are the important people for this big Zynga company. And this seems to be really bad for them, but this is a special case. If you check another game, for example, where's the German ones? Nowhere. Let's check French. Wait, it's better. Isn't it amazing? Okay, I see. They're losing lots of players. The reason for that can be this cross-promotion thing, where you send players from the one game to the other. You don't know where. I can start searching the games now from their games now. Oh, no. Please. Where the people are now. But these are the two most important games, and you see the numbers every time, which is not good for them. Nevertheless, there are more people getting interested in this game development. The growth is not that big anymore. It's not like the brand new thing to play, but people are still getting more and more. Can you check the overall thing? Or the
I think the top 4, 3 are
yeah, the top 3, yeah. But I want to show you Huga because Huga was the company I just saw a presentation recently, and they, as far as I know, they do everything right. Like 5 million daily active players is a lot, and if you see this, it's a very good growth. So this is a German developer, and I can tell you what they do right. They do right. They have this analytics I told you about. They have a look at the game. They check where the people start playing. You have like the first thing you do is you register, and then the first thing you do is you play your first round. And they really have a look. Do the people play the second round, or do they stop off after the first round? And if they stop off after the first round, they change something. They make the second round easier, for example, or more attractive to them. And they constantly improve. And this is why they are on the ride. They have this opportunity to win against all the other developers in the social game. If you would compare Huga and Zika right now, it would be like this, because they're brand new, like 2 years old, and Zika has like way more success and experience than them, but they have all these tracking things. If I could find one of those games, I could perfectly tell you what happened there. Basically, well, the free-to-play business is still establishing. It's in Europe, it's not, the growth is in Europe and in the US is not that high anymore, but it is in the emerging countries and markets, like I said, the Latin American market, the Arabian market, and the Southeast Asia market. That we call, and they have huge growth rates there.
Do you think much damage was done by, kind of games such as that Smurfs game on the iPad where kids racked up huge bills through in-app payments and stuff?
Probably not the registrations. Because if the kids want to play, they just play it.
Well, no, but I mean bad press that came up. This free game where the money's made by buying stuff inside and they have no restrictions, use the parents' credit cards.
No, honestly, I think it's the opposite. You talk about this, and as soon as you talk about something, the people start getting interested. For example, we have this game in Germany called, I forgot the name. The game is about drunkards, like homeless people. Probably you have heard of it. It was criticized a lot. You play a homeless guy begging for money, gathering bottles because you have this deposit in Germany. I don't know if you have it here too. You have a deposit on cans, on bottles, and everything, and people throw it away, and the homeless people gather them, give them in, and get like for 10 bottles €1 or something. And I had a game out of this one. The press was like, "Oh my God, how can they create a game out of this?" And the major medias and the magazines wrote about it, and everyone knew about it in Germany, and the people were registered like hell. The registration was like this, like this. You had like 100,000 new players every day just because the people talked about it. It was bad. The reputation was bad. It was like, oh my God, how can they talk about homeless people and make fun of them? That wasn't the plan. I don't plan to tackle the German society somehow. I want to develop a game, and I'm looking for a new genre, for example. And it was like a huge success, and they did the same in other countries for internationalization, because they're just trying to shock the people there. So they like gave a hint to the magazines and newspapers in the other country, which they just tackled, and the same reaction by the French, for example, caused the same success there. So this was like perfect for them. The people talking about it, even though it was bad reputation and bad saying about it, was like the best marketing we could ever have because the games, it was really crappy. There was nothing you can see. The only thing you could do is click, and it was like uglier than you've ever seen something before. I will not show it in here because it's it doesn't look good at all. And they didn't care about the conversion rate because they had lots of people playing, and they didn't care about the conversion rates to active paying because their monetization is through advertising. So they had banners on the side, and because they had lots of impressions every day, they could sell the marketing to marketing companies, so marketing agencies, and made lots of money. And yeah, they're suffering now because they implemented paying features. And the players are like, no, okay, now I have to pay, I won't, goodbye. So their growth rate was like 0 again, and the people left again. So bad reputation is good marketing for YouTube. Yes, okay, that's it.
I would like to ask this question of predicting the future, but you mentioned a few times how do you see that scenario of free-to-play, they can purchase more content? Is that one possible path for the future of gaming?
You mean the development towards free-to-play business?
Yeah. Well, do you see that as the future of gaming?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Initially free, and then we want to pay.
Absolutely. There's like, why should you pay for a game like 50 euros up front if you can at least try other games? And if they're good, you'll stay there. You won't have a reason to pay for a game. And all the reason I can be perfectly sure on this one is because the big companies like EA buy the social game developers. Disney bought Playdom, which is like the 5th or 6th most important social game developer, for more than $500 million, I think. They're buying the social game developers as long as they can, because Zynga has lots of games and has a huge revenue, and I think it's not possible to buy them right now. But the classic retail game developers are buying them as soon as they can, as long as they can. Again, because they see this fear, they fear their success, and they see their potential. And they try to develop free-to-play games on their own because they see their potential. And this is why companies say, yes, free-to-play games will be like the next step. There's another kind of gaming which is cloud gaming, OnLive, for example. This could be like a discussion for 12 hours. If OnLive will survive or this free-to-play games you have to have on your PC. I can't tell, because we're not into touch with OnLive, but this can be a huge discussion right now.
Is it possible to build a successful social online game outside of Facebook?
Yeah, like all the browser games, using community
But
forums.
how do you build a community without Facebook?
Well, you have the community in the game, so you can write messages, you can found any groups, whatever, you can talk within the game already. In addition to that one, you have the forums outside of the game. So there you have a community. So the communities existed before Facebook even was that successful.
Yeah, but what do you think will be the impact of Facebook making using the credits compulsory?
You mean the Facebook credits for? This is the thing that developers have to care about. So the thing is that Facebook forces the game developers to use their virtual money, which is Facebook credits, and they get 30% of every revenue the developers generate. Developers, of course, hate it. Most of them, some people love it because they don't have to care about all the payment methods anymore, all the integrations and stuff. Most of them are like, oh my god, only because of being on Facebook, I have to pay 30%, and they hate it. And this is why many social game developers focus on new or alternative social networks. As I said, like contacting Russia or Group in Latin America, or there are many other social networks, and the developers try to release their games there too because they fear the power of Facebook on their game.
And do you know a game that was launched elsewhere than in successful game that was launched not in the US, not in Germany, not in Korea? I mean, is it possible? Well, the rationale is it possible to launch a successful online game in a language that has like 10 million speakers?
Sure.
Is there such one? Like, can you give us an example?
On a social network, on Italian, there's a company called Plinga. You know Zynga? It's Plinga. This is not an accident because this company was founded by a funding company. They knew there's lots of potential there. They founded Plinga, and the thing they do is they create copycats. So they see Citywell is successful, do the same, call it a Vitiso, and everything will be fine. And they don't use Facebook. Right now they're using only two social networks. The German StudiVZ, which has 13 million users, decreasing by the way because of Facebook, and Poland's Wirtualna Polska social network, which is, I think, the comparable size. So this is basically the two only social networks they use. I don't know how much money they make because it's like
Is Plinga with what? With I or Y?
I think this is what they do. Just the companies copycat, and the products they do are copycats too. Just because they know Zynga is only focusing on Facebook.
And don't you think that the regulator should go after Facebook and do something with the enforcement of the credits?
Oh, again,
I think that Facebook, I think that Facebook didn't have the right. I think that they're damaging the competition.
they are, but they are the world's leading social network.
Yeah, but they are not like you see like leading payment thing. Like I think the regulator should come in and say you are not entitled to enforce your payment method.
You mean the developer should say that?
No, I mean the regulator, like the European protection or
It's really the choice, and there's, as far as I know, there's no such an international level of regulations you can have. I think this.
I mean, there are times where the regulators love to fine Microsoft, but why don't they now fine Facebook? No, I know you. Yeah, just your opinion.
Yeah. Well, I can't really tell what to do there, but because it doesn't hurt anyone, just they cut a piece of the revenue and they use their position on the market. Why should like? Yeah.
It's the developer who's suffering.
Yeah, only the developer. Yeah, exactly. So.
No.
Then Microsoft is
Well, the developer will make it more expensive for the consumer. It's never the developer.
Yeah, exactly. So you can easily Google this topic and you'll find lots of forums where people really discuss
No,
about it.
but you are in touch with the developers. Do you see some like grumbling or like is there class action forming or something? No, nothing like that. They grumble that they are unhappy.
You mean like they're creating a union against it?
Yeah, they should.
Yeah. Well, the thing I've heard, but I'm pretty sure right now is what Dingo does, they create their own gaming portal external to Facebook.
They want to escape Facebook.
They want to. This is the official topic. I think they're thinking about it or started doing it. So basically they're withdrawing all their 250 million players to an external portal where the people can play all the Zynga games without using Facebook. And the opinion about it is that it will fail, as far as I know, because the people say Facebook needs Zynga, because the people log into their game, and at the same time they log into Facebook and see this new message, so they're on it again. And Zynga needs Facebook because of this 550 million, which means there are still 300 million they didn't tackle in order to widen their multipliers.
So maybe like Facebook should see that it's now good for them in enforcing the rules.
And they know it, of course, they know it. And Mark Zuckerberg, I think he doesn't care, because calculate all the revenue that developers make and cut 30% share for you. This is the money Facebook needs, because they don't need a lot of money right now, because it's very expensive to have it online. And I think they're not that profitable, but they have all the rest because of the user data. It's very precious user data.
No questions, we finish up. Thank you very much.